In this video, we're going to look at verbs in Latin, mainly the present tense. Before we begin to see how the verbs are conjugated or created, we need to look at a couple terms that are related to verbs. First, we have number, person, tense, mood, and voice. The number of a verb just represents singular or plural. So it tells us how many the verb is representing. Person tells us more about the subject, whether it's first, second, or third person, so I, you, he, she, it, or the plurals, we, you, all, they. Tense tells us when the verb is happening, so it's a past, present, or future. There are actually 6 tenses in Latin, so there will be a little bit more than just past, present, and future. Mood tells us how the verb is being expressed. For right now, we just need to know that when we conjugate a verb, it's going to be in the indicative, which means it's either expressing a statement or a question. We'll get to other moods later. And voice represents whether a subject is active or passive. For right now, everything is active because it means that the subject is doing the action. Let's take a look at our endings, but let's start with something that we already know. We know that there's singular and plural forms for verbs. And we're also going to have an ending to represent a first person, a second person, or a third person. We've already learned that the he, she, it ending for verbs is the letter T. And we've learned that the they form is NT. Now we need to fill in the remaining 4. The I ending for a verb is going to be represented by O with a macron. The U form is going to be represented by the ending S. Then he, she, it will be T. We ending will be mus, M-U-S. You all will be represented by tis, T-I-S, and again they will be represented by N-T. If we take a look at a verb, amas, we have the stem here, am, which means love, and the S we know now represents you. If we put those together, the verb means you love. Let's take a look at amat. Amat, am still means love. The T ending represents he, she, or it. So therefore, this verb means he loves. Amamus has the mus ending. Mus represents we, and am is still the stem for love. So this verb now means we love. We don't necessarily need a subject in a Latin sentence because the verb has all of the meaning in it right there. Amamus, the mus tells us our subject is already we, so we don't need an extra subject. In a verb like amant, the NT already tells us that it's they. They love. However, we can add a subject to make more specific meaning. If I were to add puellae amant, it's going to be more specific than they love. Instead, now we're going to change they out for the girls. So the girls love. Let's take a look at 2 sentences that do and do not use an express subject. Puellae sub arbore sedent et legant. In this sentence, both of our verbs have the NT ending, so it's representing they. Saepe in agri sedere amant. This also uses an NT. So all of our verbs are actually third person plural. However, in the first sentence, we do have a noun in the nominative plural to represent our subject. So the girls sit and read. In the second sentence, we don't have a subject. There's no word in there that's in the nominative. So we find our subject based on the ending, NT. They love. To make a verb in the present tense in Latin, we need to look at the principal parts. Amo, amare, amavi, amatus. These are the forms that we see on our vocabulary sheets. To make the verb, we're going to use the second principal part, which is called the infinitive. And these infinitives always end with an RE. We're going to take that infinitive form and drop off the infinitive ending to get our stem, which is am. But before we do that, let's take a look at all the different infinitives that we have so far. We have the ARE infinitive, the ERE with the macron, the ERE without, and the IRE. These four infinitives represent four different categories of verbs, which we call conjugations. And a verb can only belong to one of these categories. This infinitive ending is going to dictate how we create the verb. To create the verb, we're going to follow a normal pattern, but there will be slight changes based upon its conjugation. To make the present tense, we're always going to take the stem, which is what comes before the infinitive ending, the connecting vowel, which we're going to look at now, and then put on one of those 6 personal endings. The connecting vowels for each conjugation are pretty consistent. The connecting vowel for the first conjugation verb will be an A. Second conjugation verbs will use the letter E. Third conjugation verbs will use an I or a U. And fourth conjugation verbs will use an I or an IU. The U and the IU are only used for NT ending verbs, so that third person plural. Everything else will use the other connecting vowel. So let's look at some examples on how to do this. First conjugation verb, amare. I have my stem, because I took off the ARE, and I'm left with am. This gives me the meaning of the verb, so love. Next I need to put the connecting vowel in, and that would be the A for the first conjugation. Notice how the first person does not have an extra connecting vowel. From here I'm going to add the endings on to give me my subjects. Amo, I love. Amas, you love. Amat, he loves. Amamos, we love. Amatis, y'all love. Amant, they love. Second conjugation verbs, same formula. We've got our stem, connecting vowel, ending. Now in the second conjugation, we do actually add an extra connecting vowel for the first person. So I sit, you sit, he, she, or it sits. We sit, you all sit, they sit. Now let's go to our third conjugation. Leg, which means read. Add my connecting vowel, add my endings. So I read, you read, he, she, it reads. We read, you all read, they read. Notice how the I switched to the you. Also, in the third conjugation, we don't add an extra connecting vowel. Finally, the fourth conjugation. Aud, which comes from audire, which means to hear. Stem, connecting vowel, ending. Notice again we do add an extra connecting vowel here. I hear, you hear, he, she, it hears, we hear, you all hear, and they hear. Second and the fourth conjugations are the ones that add the extra connecting vowel in the first person. Other than that, we leave that connecting vowel or that glue out.